Alright, this is John Cola with OKRaw.com coming at you from my backyard garden, having an amazing time here in the wintertime. It's like in the 70s today. I'm actually sweating actually. Really nice, but I thought I'd take some time to answer guys' questions. I don't often do this too much on this channel, but it's important to me to spread some information and get some information out to you guys. I get so many different requests and people ask me questions all the time, and there's one of me and there's a lot of you guys, and I apologize in advance. I cannot possibly answer all the questions that come in. So occasionally I might make a video like this, you know, with your guys' questions to answer me so you guys will get the answers. I do want to encourage you guys to, you know, always search my past videos. If you go to my YouTube channel page, OKRaw.com, there's a little magnifying glass thing. Click that and type in a word that you're searching on. Chances are I may have made a video on it already. I have over 300 videos on this channel at present time. All right, first let's get into the first question. It's from Steve Guzman. Hey John, my name is Steve and I've been subscribed to your channel for some time now and have watched many of your videos. I want to say thank you for passing on all the useful information that you do about eating the best foods possible for us. I'm writing you because though I have a little idea of how to eat raw, I don't know exactly how to go about it on a daily basis, and because of that sometimes I end up eating stuff I don't want to eat. I eat it because I'm hungry at the moment. Can you guide me through this journey of fully converting over to raw foods? I also live in New York and it is hard to grow our stuff during the winter. I try to shop at local farmers markets as much as possible. Because of that, my daily food consists of a smoothie in the morning, 2 green juices for lunch, and a few nuts, and a green salad for dinner. But I find myself hungry at times and end up eating some of the foods I'm trying to avoid. My wife and kids are not trying to do what I'm doing, and because of that, we have different foods for each other. Thanks for your time and hope to hear from you soon. All right, Steve, so what I recommend, you know, is always trying to improve and increase your fruit and vegetable consumption, however way you could do that. Now, I don't care if you go fully raw or not fully raw. You know, what I care about is that you eat more fruits and vegetables than you did the day before. If you do that every day, you're success. This could simply mean eating 1 extra leaf off a stinging nettle plant like this is without getting stung. Hey, my success today, I ate more leafy greens than yesterday. I'm just kidding. And that's all I really want for you guys. You know, I mean, there's other channels that promote a fully raw lifestyle or, you know, eat raw till this time or that time. I just want you guys to eat more fruits and vegetables. And the thing I've learned is this: the more fruits and vegetables that you eat, the healthier you're going to be. Now, I guess some of the challenges that you've had is that you feel hungry at times. What simply this means to me is that in many cases, is that you may simply just not being eating enough. You know, I mean, you have a smoothie in the morning and 2 green juices for lunch. You know, for personally, I would, if it was me, I'd switch that around. I'd drink green juices in the morning. I'd maybe have some water upon awakening. Then I'd drink a lot of green juice. And when I drink a green juice, it's like 32 minimum to like 64 ounces, normally maybe around 48, 50 ounces. And that fills me up. And then I'm good for a couple hours. Then I'll get hungry again. And then it'd be good maybe to have like a nice large smoothie. And the smoothie, when you drink it, you know, you want to drink enough to fill you up. Don't just, oh, I got a 12-ounce smoothie or a 16-ounce smoothie. I find many people tend to undereat on a, you know, raw foods diet because, I mean, there's so much water content. I know, you know, we're used to drinking like 16 ounces or 12 ounces of soda, and then we drink a smoothie that's amount. We need to, you know, include a lot more of the fruit and vegetable to get into us, you know, so that we will feel full. Another thing I'd recommend, instead of, you know, the nuts and the juice, I'd recommend, you know, just drinking like that smoothie and until you're full, and then wait a few hours and then have some fresh fruit. Eat some fresh fruit, right? Like, I think fresh fruit is far better to eat than some nuts. And also I want to encourage you guys and everybody out there and Steve to, you know, always have fresh fruit available. And if you're hungry, if you have fruit around and fruit available, grab that first before you go in to eat some cookies or some of the other stuff that you may not want to be eating. If you have something fresh and good available, you know, and you get your mind trained to go for that first, you know, and if you don't have that stuff, yeah, then go for the junk. You know, always have fresh fruit. Like, I have like 12 different kinds of fruit available in my home right now, and usually I have at least over a half dozen varieties. And so, like, I don't ever feel like I got to eat something else because I have so much abundance of different kinds of fruit. Like, if I feel like bananas, I could eat those. If I feel like apples, I could feel like sapotes. I feel like persimmons, pineapple, oranges, tangerines. I could eat any of those things right now if I wanted to. And with all those choices, you know, you're sure to eat more fruits instead of some of the bad stuff. And then for dinner, you know, like you're doing now, I'd recommend a nice green salad. And I'd want to recommend you guys make like a nut-based dressing. So like take some orange juice, blend up a handful of nuts in there, get your nuts at night. You know, I find the nuts at the night tend to kind of like, with some fat, tend to make me a little bit tired, so then I go to bed. And, you know, also it's helps to, you know, get that in you every day for some good nutrients. So the final thing I want to say to you, Steve, is I know your wife and your kids are not trying to do what you're doing, but I want to encourage you guys, you know, always out there, things are not always black and white. You're either not 100% fully raw or you're just a cooked foodist, you know. I want you guys to, you know, not think of things in terms of right and wrong, good and bad, right? For example, this is something that many of you guys have done before. You know, if you're driving on the freeway, the posted speed limit's 55 miles an hour, you're driving 56. Is that right or wrong, good or bad, right? Well, yes, technically you are illegal. A police officer, peace officer can give you a ticket for going 56 into 55 zone. Most of them are not going to waste their time. You know, if you're going with the flow of traffic and everybody else is going 60 and you're going about 60, you know, it's not a big deal. But that's a gray area, right? I want you guys to apply this technique also when you think about other things, right? It's not about like eating fully raw or not fully raw. What it's really about is eating more fresh fruits and vegetables. And I want you, even if your kids and stuff are not doing exactly like you, that's fine. I want you to introduce fruits and vegetables into their diet. This is very important and very critical, in my opinion, for their health and for their well-being. Even if they don't, they're going to like certain things that you eat. They're going to like that certain juice that you make. Oh, Daddy, that juice was good. Give them samples, you know, get your wife to drink just a little bit of the juice, and that's much more, once again, fruits and vegetables than she may have had the day before. Get them that, if you have the fresh fruit around, let them know that they could eat it anytime they're hungry, right? And hopefully they might go for that instead of the junk food and processed foods and fast foods and all this stuff, right? So just get them eating fresh fruits and vegetables. You know, get them to eat when you make your big salad for dinner. Give them a little bit to eat with their dinner. Make sure they eat their salad first before whatever else they're eating, right? I want you guys, no matter what point you're out there at, to get more fruits and vegetables in you, whether that's from, you know, fresh juices, which is the easiest way because you get to concentrate the fruits and vegetables you're eating, through blended smoothies, blended soups, blended salads, or through just salads, or just, you know, eating just fresh fruits and enjoying them. I mean, I had over a pound of organic blueberries for breakfast, and they were delicious. All right. Hope that answers your question, Steve. Hope that's been of some help to you and also other people's that are on this path. Next question is from Sandra. What's up, Sandra? All right. John, how do you prepare for traveling with the raw food diet? Last year I was inspired and have lost that inspiration due to the humdrum of easy living and family eating habits. We traveled for Thanksgiving this year, and my mindset could not be more focused on the holiday traditional food spread. I'd like to know how you made the transition to eating healthier. We had a garden last year, and it since went the way of the West, and it has not tried to garden since. I plan on starting my seedlings again early this year, but I would like to do more year-round approach as you get into the habit of eating healthier. I've had 3 heart surgeries, and I'm weak in body and spirit. I believe a healthy diet and lifestyle change would aid in my transformation to live longer, healthier lifestyle. I'm 32 and growing weaker as time passes. Not the life I want to live. I have 3 children, and I want to model a healthier take on living before it's too late. Many thanks for all you do and freely give. You're doing a great work. Also, without having the ability to garden, how can one sustain a healthy raw foods diet, Sandra? All right, Sandra, so let's see. You asked many questions. I'll handle them one at a time. How do you prepare for traveling with the raw foods diet? So, you know, I have videos on this already. I have actually a really good hour-long presentation where I get into traveling raw, so I'll put a link down below. Also, you know, I want to encourage you guys to search my past videos. If you search on travel, you'll see how I prepare for raw foods when I travel. You know, it's super simple, super easy, whether that means I'm bringing produce sometimes, or whether that means, you know, when I get off a flight, get off an airline flight, get a rental car, and then I go to a supermarket or a health food store or farmer's market and stock up on produce. So I just have the foods available, because if you have foods available, you're going to eat them. If you don't have them available, you're going to go for something else. And if I don't have foods available, then I'm fasting on water, because you could always get filtered water somewhere. So that's pretty much it. I guess the other thing you talked about is the mindset. You know, I want to encourage you guys always to have a mindset, right? And a reason, basically a mindset or a reason for doing what you're doing in life, for everything in life, right? My mindset is that, like, you know, hey, if I don't eat a healthy diet, I could end up back in the hospital, and the doctors could tell me that you might lose your life, because that happened to me when I was younger, and this is something that will never happen to me again. I mean, you've already had a few different health challenges, you know, and all this stuff, and 3 heart surgeries, and that should be, you know, after 1 heart surgery, that should be pretty big motivation. You know, if I was you, I would think, like, in my head, like, if I eat crappy food, I could be back in for heart surgery, and I might not make it out next time, right? That might not be too fun, in my opinion. In addition, you know, another reason could be, I want to be there for my kids. I mean, you said that you want to model good for them. I mean, what if they follow what you do and they end up with heart surgeries and losing their life early? How would you feel, right? That's not fun for any parent to lose their son, especially, or daughter, before them. It happens all the time in this day and age. So I want you guys to have leverage or a strong reason for doing what you're doing. I mean, that's just the sheer willpower that will help to move you on your way to doing it right. You know, I still think that to this day, like, if I eat McDonald's, right, it'll put me back in the hospital. So I'm not going to eat that because I don't want to be back in the hospital. Plus, I've learned by eating the fresh foods, fruits and vegetables like I do, I have more energy, I stay at a fit and trim weight, I'm healthy. You know, I see people that are my age that look, you know, 10 years older, easily, you know, all kinds of crazy stuff. And this just makes me realize how glad I really am and have been for doing this now for the last 20 years, something not too many other raw food YouTubers could say. I mean, I've done this for 20 years. I've been to the school of hard knocks. I know what works, what don't work, and that's pretty much what I share for you guys in these videos. So yeah, have a really strong reason to do it and stick to it. And have the food available, like I talked about with Steve. Always have things available so that you could always eat some healthy stuff. Have some fresh juices made, you know, have some fresh fruit available, always, so that you could go for that first. See, in gardening, yeah, I want to encourage everybody to have their gardens and eat out of your garden before you eat stuff out of the grocery store. And, you know, if you can't have a garden, that's not an excuse not to eat raw foods, right? There's plenty of grocery stores, there's plenty of health food stores. I don't even care if you can't get all organic produce, right? Get organic when you can, when it's available, when it's a good price. But eating conventional produce is far better than anything else. Like I was talking to my brother last night. He's like, man, I fed my kid, who's 5 years old now, like non-organic grapes. And I'm like, Jim, and my brother's like, should I just not feed him grapes? I'm like, well, Jim, if your son likes grapes, and, you know, I would rather him eat grapes than a canned soda. I would rather your son eat, you know, conventional grapes that are sprayed with stuff than having like one of those juice boxes. I'd rather have your son eat the conventional grapes than cookies. So once again, it's in the terms of looking at good, better, best, right? Of course, I'd want to have his son eat organic grapes instead of conventional grapes, but conventional grapes are far better than most other things he'd be eating, in my opinion. So, you know, I want you guys to know this and to always have fruits and vegetables available for you guys to eat, whether they're smoothied, juiced, blended, you know, or eaten whole. Let's see here. Other question you had was about, without having the ability to garden, how can one sustain a healthy raw food diet? Well, just purchase the food. Besides having a garden, I want to let you guys know that you can always garden inside year-round no matter where you live. I'm actually growing some sprouts inside my house, although most of my garden is outside. You can do it inside by growing sprouts and microgreens. I'll put some links down below to 2 videos that I've done on how you could grow inside year-round no matter where you live in the whole world. You know, because the sprouts and microgreens, they like the same temperature that you and I like, right? And they'll grow year-round. So I hope that answers your question, Sandra. I hope that gives you like a little kick in the butt and some motivation to do it, along with what I've talked about with Steve, to get you moving in the right direction, to get you more successful in eating more fruits and vegetables. You know, you don't have to go fully raw. You know, you don't have to be, you know, eat all junk food. I want you guys out there, everybody out there, to eat more fruits and vegetables, however you guys could do it. Okay, next question is from Lorenzo. I wanted to ask you if or why raw garlic isn't good to eat. I heard somebody else on YouTube mentioning that raw garlic isn't good. What do you think about it? Thanks. All right, Lorenzo. So there are things that I consider foods that I'll eat in mass, abundant quantities, like always. I'll always eat all these leafy greens and take them down to the stock and eat them out. Yeah, I like eating things out. All right, and I'll eat fruits in copious amounts, and these I consider foods. I will never eat garlic in copious amounts because I do not consider garlic a food like that. Like, you guys wouldn't make a meal out of garlic, or most of you guys, unless maybe you're Italian or something. But I think of garlic more as a medicine, right? So garlic, once again, there's this whole mentality, right, wrong. Garlic's bad. No, garlic's good. Garlic's a healing medicine that's been used for thousands of years, right? Where are you on this chart? Is it bad? Is it good? I'm somewhere in the middle, right? I believe that garlic, while it does have some negative effects when you consume it, right, it also has plenty of positive effects. Does this mean that I should eat it every day of my life? No. So I like to include garlic maybe once a week, if that, maybe 2 times a week if I'm getting crazy. I grow my own garlic to have the highest quality garlic on the whole planet. And pretty much growing 1 4-foot bed like you guys see here will grow enough garlic for me for the year. So, that tells you how much and I still have extra, actually. So I don't eat a lot of garlic, but I do like to include it. I do believe it has, some medicinal properties. I also believe it can be really strong. One time I had a bacterial infection on my neck. I took some garlic, crushed it up, taped it on overnight, and the next day I took it off and my infection was healed, but I also had basically 2nd-degree burns that were blistering and bubbling out. So, this is how toxic garlic can be. So yeah, so once again, don't think in the terms of right, wrong, good, bad. If I was you, I might want to include garlic once in a while, especially if you're sick or whatever. It does have some good phytochemicals and phytonutrients that I don't think that people should avoid unless they have some severe allergy or something to it. But that's just my opinion. All right, next question is from, oh my gosh, I can't pronounce this name because it's in a foreign language. But anyways, the question is English. Hi, I just wanted to say first, thanks for the videos. You're brilliant. They really helped on my journey to raw foods. I'm 18 and I cannot buy organic fruits and vegetables, especially organic greens, because they are really expensive. And I can't grow them in my garden because my cat pee in the soil. So in the meantime, I'm trying to make compost to grow vegetables, but until then I want to eat organic greens. So meanwhile I eat Spirulina or Chlorella substitute. So is it a good substitute for green leaves? Alright, so I don't know the name, but in my opinion, Spirulina and Chlorella is never a substitute for green leaves. While Spirulina and Chlorella is a green food and it's very nutritious, and I think it's good to eat and include once in a while, which I would include Spirulina and Chlorella more than I include garlic in my diet. I don't include it as much as leafy greens. Like, I eat leafy greens each and every day, and if you absolutely can't get leafy greens, yes, it might be good to eat Spirulina or Chlorella because you can't get any leafy greens, but everywhere in the world that I've visited, there are always leafy green vegetables, available in some form, even if it's iceberg lettuce. Furthermore, anywhere man has disturbed their soil, there are wild weeds you can pick. So I'll put a link down below this video to a video I did on 13 wild foods that may be growing near you and that you can grow, near you. The other thing for cat peeing in the soil, I have videos on how to prevent cats from peeing in your soil by basically making a fence or blocking them out so that you can grow your own food outside. The other thing I would recommend is growing microgreens and sprouts. You can grow them indoors without cats getting in there so that you can have your own fresh greens instead of eating Spirulina and Chlorella. If you do want to eat some Spirulina and Chlorella, I would recommend actually Spirulina first, especially because you can grow Spirulina inside a fish tank in your home. So I don't have any videos on this yet, but I will soon. So I always recommend you guys grow your own food whenever it's possible and whenever you can. And unfortunately, for many people, it may not be possible and may not be available. But you can always grow sprouts and microgreens, right? So yeah, even if you're living in a trailer or living in a car, right? You could do it. All right, next question is from Fabio Figueira. Hello, my name is Fabio and I'm from Portugal. I want to change my habits to suit the vegan lifestyle. I'm completely against animal cruelty and all the chemicals that are being used on most of the foods nowadays that cause awful disease. I need some help with what I should eat to begin a vegan lifestyle, but still have a balanced diet. I want to know what should I eat daily to still have that balanced diet I had. So can you please send me a list of what products you recommend and maybe some good brands that sell vegan products. Thanks for your time, Fabio. All right, Fabio. So on my show, for the most part, I don't like to recommend products, right? on some levels, it's products that have gotten people into the health predicament that they're in. Products that they could buy, brands and all this. Now, while there are a handful of good brands and products that I do like, and you can check my past episodes where I go to the Natural Products Expo and reveal and share some of my top picks at those shows of vegan products. You know, I believe a healthy vegan diet should not consist of products, you know, only in small amounts. I believe a healthy vegan diet should consist of whole foods. Now, I'm personally a raw food plant eater and eat a raw plant-based diet. And so some of the, you know, plant foods that are healthy I don't consume. So for example, a healthy vegan diet could be rich in whole foods, including, you know, rice and beans that are cooked and all this kind of stuff, and, you know, sweet potatoes that are cooked. I don't eat those things. What I prefer to focus my life on is the best stuff. And now while those foods are good, you know, I think better is focusing on things like leafy greens and fresh fruits, and that makes up the majority of my diet. So we want to focus on not branded foods, things without an ingredient label in a vegan or a raw food diet. And, you know, the fact of the matter is clear. You want to have fresh vegetables and fruits as a big portion of your vegan diet, even if you are going to cook some rice or beans or whatever and other stuff, but have whole foods above all else, right? And organic whenever possible, whenever you can get them, without the products, right? There's only the need for nutritional supplements and products when your food is inadequate, because you're supposed to be supplementing your diet with supplements. If you eat enough fresh foods, fruits and vegetables, you will get mostly all the nutrients that you need in your diet. So that's what I recommend. Get the products out of your life. Don't be a productarian, be a gardenarian and eat out of your garden. All right, let's see, next question. Man, I got all these cool names. Kirthana Kumar. Hi John, Kirthana from India. I like your YouTube videos. I have a doubt. How much green should we eat in a day? Do we have to eat 2 pounds a day? I can understand raw vegans get their protein from greens. How much do we have to consume as a minimum quantity to ensure we get all the nutrients? I'm 21, female, and I'm at a desk job. Can you please guide me? All right, so yes, in my videos I advocate, my goal every day is to eat 2 pounds of leafy greens a day. It's very easy when you have a garden that has so much greenery going on. I could probably support a minimum a family of 4 for 2 pounds of greens a day, because as I'm sitting here, these greens are growing and expanding and growing more. So that's my goal. Do I reach that goal every day? No. You know, some days I do, some days I don't. But at minimum, always strive to get in 1 pound of greens a day. And I like to vary my greens, so don't just, oh, I could eat a pound of greens, I could eat a pound of romaine lettuce every day. I want you guys to eat different kinds of greens, because every different green, whether that's the stinging nettles here, whether that's the cauliflower leaves, the broccoli leaves, the kale leaves, you know, the lettuce, the escarole, the Tokyo Bakina that I have growing here, dandelion greens there. I mean, every different green has different phytochemicals and phytonutrients. So I want you guys to have a wide, varied diet of different things. So if you get bok choy this week at the store, you know, get kale greens next week, get spinach the following week, and try to eat different things every different day, so you just flood your body with nutrients. One of the games I like to play is I like to try to eat something different every single day. So if I had like watermelon for breakfast yesterday, I'll have cactus fruit juice today, and then I'll have pineapple orange juice the next day, and then I'll have blueberries tomorrow, and then I'll have, like, you know, tangerines the next day, and always rotate what your diet gets, instead of eating 30 bananas today, 30 bananas tomorrow, because you're then getting a really small amount of nutrients. And you know, the real power to the raw foods diet is a few things. Number one, it's low calorie, which is good, so your body doesn't have to expend energy to, you know, deal with extra calories. You don't have to gain extra weight, especially if you're at a desk job. But more importantly, it has the phytochemicals and phytonutrients that, in my opinion, are more important than things like, you know, fats, proteins, and carbs. It's the phytonutrients that we really want to maximize and get into our diet. And that the way you do that, you know, because greens are very rich in phytochemicals, cancer-fighting properties, and all these different things unexplored yet. You know, we want to be eating the greens. So minimum 1 pound, you know, 2 pounds might be your goal, like I do. It's really easy to take a pound of greens, throw them through the juicer, you get 1 cup of juice, you know, drink that, swig it up, chew it a little bit, mix it with your saliva, because digestion starts in the mouth before you swallow it. You know, the more greens you could drink, the better, and the more variety you could get, the better. Do you have to eat 2 pounds a day? You know, For most healthy people, I would say not. You know, there's some situations if people are trying to heal and all this kind of stuff, you know, you might want to include more. So that's basically my answer on that. Basically, I want you guys to eat, you know, once again, focus on the leafy greens, the vegetables, and the fresh fruits. Whether you got to juice them, blend them, or eat them whole. You know, it's really hard to eat a pound of greens, especially chew them and masticate them well. That's why I prefer to generally, juice them or blend them up. All right, next question is from Bear Shaman 02. Have you ever looked into raw eggs, and what are your views on eating raw eggs? I've watched enough of your videos to know that you seem pretty anti-animal products overall, but all the same, I'm just asking about nutritionally. So, you know, it's true, eggs have some nutrition in there, but in my opinion, eggs are not necessary and also are detrimental to your health, and I do not recommend you guys consume them. I do not consume eggs. I have not consumed eggs for maybe 20 plus years now, unless somebody snuck something in, something that I didn't know about. They're just gross, you know, and they will shorten your life. There's a really good video at nutritionfacts.org about this, on how eating eggs are as like bad as smoking. Figure that, you know. And if we think about it, what are the eggs from, right? Basically, the chickens will eat food scraps or grains, and in this day and age, especially if you're getting just, you know, eggs from the store, they're probably being fed GMO corn and soy. Now the eggs are based on GMO corn and soy, what the chicken made and then goes out in the egg. And besides the ethical issue, there's all the biologic contamination in the eggs, and also our body cannot deal with animal proteins, foreign animal proteins. It sets off an autoimmune reaction. So in my opinion, this will overall lower your health by eating eggs. The only reason that eggs will help your health is if you are not eating enough, or the quantity of beneficial vitamins and nutrients, and there's something in the egg that you're not getting from your diet because you're eating 30 bananas a day and you're not eating a wide variety of greens. Basically, the chickens are accumulators. They accumulate nutrients, they accumulate toxins, and that's what they put into their eggs. So I want you guys to eat copious amounts of greens and fruits primarily, to get your nutrition, and not the eggs. So hopefully that answers your question. If you do want to eat eggs, although I do not believe in them, if you do want to eat eggs, I recommend you guys get your own chickens. That being said, you know, chickens that you have, that you feed, the best stuff on earth, they're going to produce higher quality eggs, but there's still going to be plenty of toxicity, and they will shorten your life nonetheless. Grow a big garden. All right, last question is from Hoopty Boontain. John, I'm not fully raw, but I'm moving in that direction. Question: your thoughts on steel-cut oats, whole oatmeal, fresh-made nut butter, muesli made from whole grains, cooked bean stew with all whole foods, and finally nuts. I'm desperately trying to get healthy. All right, Hoopty, so if you've watched this video to this point, you kind of know my opinion. You know, I want you guys to focus on fresh fruits, fresh vegetables, leafy greens, number one, right? Those are the best foods on the planet, and I know some of you guys might not want to sustain yourselves on all those foods. So, you know, right after that, the next kind of things that I would eat, or that I recommend for you guys out there, are whole foods, right? It's always better to get whole oats instead of steel-cut oats, or whole oats instead of rolled oats, and roll them yourself, cook them yourself, so you have a whole product. You know, I want you guys to eat foods that are minimally processed, right? Once they roll them or once they steel-cut them, that's a process, right? We want to eat the whole foods whenever we can. That's the best way to do it. Let's see. Fresh made nut butter, it'd be far better to eat nuts and chew them up and masticate them with your teeth than make nut butter on some levels, because you'll absorb more of the nutrients when it's in the nut butter format, because it has much more surface area. A lot of people eat nuts and they chew them, and some of it just goes right through them because there's still big particles and chunks that your body does not digest. I do eat some nut butter. That to me is like a treat. It's not a staple food, you know. I would encourage you guys out there to have it like as a treat for you. Yeah, I'm gonna have a little bit of nut butter after I've eaten my full day of, you know, my couple pounds of leafy greens and my fresh fruits and my other whole foods in the diet. Muesli made from whole grains, cooked bean stew with all whole foods. You know, I think nuts are good. My goal every day to eat a handful or 2 handfuls of nuts a day. You know, not too many nuts. You could overload on nuts, not be a good thing. Once again, focus on fresh fruits, fresh vegetables. Cooked bean stew, that's a good thing. So, you know, I would recommend actually a cooked bean stew that you make fresh yourself. If you're not going to eat a raw foods diet, that's probably one of the best things that you can eat in your whole life, that you make fresh, not something you buy out of a can. But if you make it yourself and use like some fresh made celery juice or carrot juice as your stock, right, and don't heat it up too hot, yeah, one of the best things you guys could eat if you want to lead a healthier lifestyle. And once again, you know, I'm not about all raw or nothing. I want to provide you guys with options and give you some healthy cooked options, you know, of whole foods that are minimally heated, right? If you are cooking your food still, I recommend only steaming and cooking in water. You know, don't do things like bake and broil and fry or microwave. Those are the worst ways of cooking. We want to cook things in low heat to prevent, you know, basically losing nutrients and also prevent carcinogen formation. All right, so yeah, that's pretty much it. This video focused on for people that are new into it and how to do it, you know, based on my last 20 years of experience doing this diet lifestyle and seeing many of my friends and other people doing it successfully and also unsuccessfully. If you're not already subscribed to me, be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel, OK Raw, to get updates. Be sure to like this video if you like this format. I'll be sure to do more Q&As in the future. I have many good episodes coming out, including how to cook your food and still keep it raw. So yeah, stay tuned for that one. That's going to be a doozy. In any case, this is John Kohler with OKRaw.com. In the end, I want to encourage you guys always to eat your fruits and vegetables. They're always the best. All right, this is John Kohler with OKRaw.com. Today we have another exciting episode for you. And this episode is going to be a short one of that. The question is, I got a nice horse here. Where does the horse get its protein? I mean, this thing towers over me. It's super huge. If we look in its mouth, and I'm not going to open up.